sure that this is Czechoslovakian, and I am entirely sure that I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, so sorry. Hey word nerds, Kate here, and today we're going to be looking at 6 words that you probably didn't realize were invented by authors. Obviously, writers are masters of their craft and very influential in the evolution and development of language. But we're going to be looking at the first documented use, or at least our best guess at the first documented use, of words that have become very common in the English language today. In his famous 1667 work, Paradise Lost, author John Milton named a city of demons Pandemonium. He came up with this name by combining 2 Latin words, pan, meaning all, and demonium, meaning demons, because it was the place where all the demons lived. Nowadays, it just means chaos. In 1920, Czech playwright Karel Čapek wrote a play called R.U.R., or Rozumoví univerzální roboti. The 1923 English translation is the first recorded use of the word robot. Karel credits his brother Joseph for suggesting the word roboti, meaning worker or slave, as the name for the automatons in his story. Up until that point, beings of machine were always called automatons, and although these were called robots, they were actually a lot more like cyborgs in that they were part human, part machine. But nowadays we consider robots to be much more machine-like. While not as well documented as some of the cases we're talking about, Dr. Seuss is widely believed to have invented the word nerd in his 1950 poem, If I Ran the Zoo. It referred to a small animal that the narrator wanted to keep in the zoo. J.R.R. Tolkien created entire languages for his world, but he was also very influential in the English language. His Lord of the Rings trilogy debuted the word tween. Freelance now refers to an independent worker who contracts out for different jobs. But back in 1819, Ivanhoe author Sir Walter Scott used the term to describe knights and mercenaries who had no loyalty and pledged their weapon to the highest bidder. Playwright and poet Richard Brinsley Sheridan created a comical character called Mrs. Malaprop in one of his plays. She was notorious for using words that sounded correct, but weren't quite. I've actually done a whole video on malaprops, and you can check that out. I struggled a little bit putting this list together because Charles Dickens and William Shakespeare are widely credited with being prolific word inventors. Shakespeare alone is believed to have come up with over 1,000 new words. However, in doing some research, it wasn't quite the case. In most cases, they were taking words that already existed and just adapting them or using them in new ways, adding a suffix or a prefix, or even just being the most famous person to write down words that were slowly being introduced into the common vernacular. If you're interested in more of my words, though none of them are invented, you can check out my website, kategjameson.com, or you can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest at Kate G. Jameson. What are some of your favorite word inventions from authors? I'd love to hear, so leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you will see me next time, word nerds. Hold please. I spent like an hour doing research for this, and of course I forget to write the guy's name down.